Hey folks, can y'all hear me? So, coming to you live from the corner of my bedroom. So, it's not a little bit of a boring background, but it hopefully works. It's a little echoey. One sec, maybe I'll shut the door. I'm back. So I still have to find a more permanent place for Coffee with Eric in the new apartment here. But as I mentioned in chat, we have a guest for a short bit. So the office is temporarily a spare bedroom and whatnot. So a little out of the ordinary for today. Yeah. Yeah. So we're just getting a little started a little late today. Doing a mini coffee. Which kind of sort of works because I don't actually have anything super exciting to show today. I've mainly been working on just trying to finish up wiring up the UI changes that I was showing before. These toolbars and stuff like that. So still like some server side stuff to get done there, but making progress. I'm not actually sure. Like I assume people like everyone who joined. I assume you got a notification or something that like the stage is starting. I always just like hit start stage, and type in the name for it, and I assume it somehow notifies everyone. Because it seems like whenever I join and there's somebody already in there, like we don't get as many joiners. So I'm not sure like if somehow that's different, or if it like doesn't notify people if other people start the stage. So, yeah, there's a number of cool little additions in here, like a little spinny thing. So thank you, Vishal. Or thank you everyone who's committed little PR tweaks for this version. It's starting to like build up a decent amount of changes in terms of like beyond like the UI changes, just like little quality of life improvement type stuff. There's always those coming in. Am I recording? I am recording. Thank you. Thank you for checking. It's always good to double check me. I thought I made that mistake and didn't record the whole thing once, and I thought like, oh, that's the one time I'll ever do that. But then I did it again. So yeah, can't trust me. I will forget. Make the title on my own, not imported from other fonts. Oh, in terms of like the big font. That was, I literally built all the big font out of clay, or at least, the A to Z, like the normal letters, but I'm sure it's been a while. I think I used some common font as reference, but it's not like super exact. So I think I printed out a sheet of, A to Z in some kind of standard font, and then just like added clay on top of that and kind of messed with it a little bit. I do want to, at some point, do like a higher res version. I feel like when I originally made all these graphics, it was back in 2010 or something like that. Like this font was somewhat low res. I feel like you couldn't tell then, but if you're like looking at it on a 4K screen, you can kind of tell it's been up-resed and sharpened, filtered, and things like that. So it'd be cool to have a nice like super crisp high res clay font. So that's another thing on the endless to-do list. It'd be fun to do. Okay. Yeah, that's one thing I've learned with like trying to support more letters than that would be nuts. That's why if you notice if you're scripting something and you do something with big text and there's any letters beyond A to Z in there, it will switch over to the normal font, which looks kind of crappy, but at least it will show all those letters. But that would be a bit of work, modeling out of clay like every single character in Unicode. I think there's what, like, there's more than 16,000 of them, I think, right? Because I know Unicode can't fit in 16-bit integers. And so a 16-bit integer is 65535. So yeah, there's got to be more than 65,000. 65,000 characters. Plus all the emojis and stuff. I mean, there's so many emojis by themselves. Like, man, I would be modeling in Clay until, the year 3000. Oh my gosh, 1.8 will be. I feel like this is the most common question now. It's like, when 1.8? When? Yeah, as soon as I can get it out, it's excuses after excuses, I guess. But the big delay right now is this UI revamp, which has definitely slowed things down. As I've mentioned before, I could have delayed this UI revamp because it's something that definitely needed to happen before like 1.0. Probably 1.9 could have been a decent time to do it, but it just kind of made sense to do it now because I was adding tokens. So I really just wanted to get like the simplified token purchasing setup in there, where there's no longer you can't buy tickets anymore. You just buy tokens and then you use those for the treasure chests and stuff like that. So I just wanted to like get that part done with so that I don't have to worry about it later. So unfortunately that is delayed 1.8 a little bit longer. But I kind of feel like that seemed like the right order of operations in terms of like not making extra work for me. Whoa. The 24/5. No, I'm really, I'm optimistic now that I have at least a decent chunk of time in the next month or two to just focus on getting this done. As I mentioned, this summer wound up just being like a lot of time sucks in terms of, moving from Southern California to San Francisco and things like that. That is still, like, this last 2 weeks has been kind of a time suck. Getting furniture delivered and, finishing getting the new apartment up and running and all that stuff. It's like all these little things, they take time. Really wonder if you're planning on plushies. This topic keeps coming up as a joke, but that would be fun if I could find a company that would kind of handle that or something. Like I'd love to have a Spaz plushie on my couch. I had some friends, I've mentioned them before, friends did like Zombie Gunship, if anyone has played those games for iOS. But yeah, at some point they had like pillows. They had like throw pillows with their app icons. So like that was kind of cool. It wasn't quite like plushies of characters, but it was still just like having some little decorative thing on your couch that's related to a game. That'd be fun. Oh, thank you, Azura. Yeah, I should. I should. I love my new apartment here. It's I'm living in kind of like a high rise in San Francisco, so there's some nice views. You can see like the bay and a bunch of tall buildings and stuff. But yeah, we have our guest here right now, so I don't want to go like invade their space and stuff like that. Spaz and Eric, yes. I can broadcast from the beach next time. The thing I learned when I first I first came to San Francisco a long time ago is like San Francisco is like Northern California. It's very much not. It's not what you think of as like when you think California. You think palm trees and like surfing and stuff like that. I feel like that's like the popular culture view of it. But Northern California is definitely not that. It's a little cooler. There's still palm trees, but it's not like kind of like that beach vibe. It's more like, I don't know, like just a bit of a, more like pine trees and cool weather. Though actually right now it's actually kind of a heat wave, so it's a little warmer than normal up here. But I can't complain. It's still not that warm compared to, a lot of places like Southern California where I just came from. It gets pretty hot there sometimes. Let's see. I should answer some of these. New mini games, I would love to. I mean, my focus right now is completely on getting 1.8 out the door, which is all just tech. that tech should allow for some new stuff, like new characters and new maps. I mean, hopefully minigames can come along with that. I mean, my grand vision is for, as you know, getting closer to 2.0 is something where you know, people can submit mini games in the cloud and everyone can just play them, and it just becomes more of like, you know, yeah, this little marketplace of mini game ideas, you know. And then once that's up and running, I'd love to you know, just experiment with more mini game types and things. I just want to make it so everyone can, you know. Tell how you created that. Oh, this would be a long story. I can do a quick cliff notes of this because maybe some people haven't heard the history, but yeah. So BombSquad. I mean, it used to just be BombSquad. Now I've kind of split it off into like the engine, which is Ballistica, but it's also basically still just BombSquad. It started out as like a hobby project of mine back when I was in art school here in San Francisco. Way back in the day. I'm kind of old. So I think I started coding in about 2004 just as a hobby, it was a good way to like learn some physics coding and things like that. And then it mostly stayed as a hobby for many years. I just I would play it with friends or family at get-togethers and things like that. But at some point, some friends of mine, the Zombie Gunship friends actually, the ones I was telling you about, they were like, they had good luck with you know, releasing an iPhone game and, you know, making a living that way. So they kind of convinced me to like put the game out there, and you know, thought it could do decent. So I released the game on the Mac App Store. That was the first version of it in 2011, I believe. And then it did pretty good. And then I wound up, releasing on Google Play in like 2013. A few other small platforms, mostly Android platforms, like the Ouya. I mentioned the Ouya sometimes. Which was a little Android micro console. But anyway, one thing led to another, and it started doing well enough to where like I just started doing that full time. So yeah, it's all my own Millennium Falcon taped together engine. So if I were starting the project again today, people ask me this a lot. If I were starting again today, I would definitely take a good look at, you know, the open source engines, or just the engines out there, because there's so many, you know, good options. I don't know if like writing your own engine today would be a wise choice, like starting at that point. But I feel like for me, since it's up and running, I know it inside and out. It's good. So yeah, that's basically the history. It's just, around 2014, it became like my full-time job, and so then I've been basically working on it ever since. I took a few years and worked with my Zombie Gunship friends. I was doing kind of visual effects for some of their games, and that was fun too. But after that, got back to just full time on my own stuff. So I know I'm very lucky to have the game at a point where it makes enough money for me to keep working on it. You know, I found a little like niche, I guess. So knock on wood, I'm just trying to use that to, you know, keep things going until I get 2.0 out there, and, you know, add all these improvements and everything. So that's that. Now here we are today. All right, let's see. I've missed pages of stuff. I'll try to catch up. Spaz and Eric on the beach. I saw that before. Burp, burp. Oh yeah. The game itself it was kind of interesting. It started as all C++, and then I just added little bits of Python on top. I was trying to learn some Python because it was Python was it still is a very popular language for like visual effects tools and things. So I was trying to learn a little Python because at the time I was at Pixar doing visual effects, and, you know, that was actually before I went to Pixar, but I still wanted to learn Python for that reason. So I started adding a little bit of Python, and it's been interesting over time. I feel like Python is slowly kind of replacing the C++ parts. There's still a lot. I mean, if you look at the GitHub repo, it's like half C++, half Python. I think it's like almost exactly half and half. But it's interesting how I feel like I'm much more comfortable now relying more on Python and then just using C++ as like for the performance sensitive parts. So that's definitely, you know, C++ is definitely way faster, C and C++. But I feel like that's kind of, you know, that's a good combination, I feel. It's sort of like just using the speedier stuff when you need it. It's like if you think about GPUs are insanely fast, but they're kind of harder to code for, and you have to do that very specifically. So it's thinking of C++ in that way. It's almost like GPU coding, where it's like when I need something to be fast, that's the C++ part. Sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent here. Something about OpenGL. Oh yeah, yeah. It is. The graphics are built on OpenGL. It's though the graphics engine. I've rewritten the graphics engine a few times since like 2004 or whatever. My first iteration was, and yeah. At this point, they're like abstracted to where if you go into the source code, like source ballistica, that would be base graphics. You can see most of it is not OpenGL. There's like the OpenGL renderer. That's basically one way for the graphics to manifest, and that's the only way right now. But it is theoretically abstract. So we could make like a Vulkan renderer or Direct 3D or whatever. But yeah, another thing on the to-do list. But that's definitely on the punting until post 2.0 to-do list. For right now, we just got to live with OpenGL because I don't think that's the most important thing to get in there is new graphics stuff yet. As much as I'd love that, I love graphics. That's why I got into like computers. Is I wanted to do computer graphics and visual effects and blow things up and all that. So I love the graphics side of things. But all the other sides have been really fun too. Like even like network coding stuff that it doesn't sound very exciting. It is kind of fun, just like making games talk to each other. But yeah, so much to do. So. I feel like half my podcasts are like apologizing that it's taking me so long to do stuff. Like 1.8 is taking longer than expected, et cetera, et cetera. Some of that, as I said, at least recently though, is just been like moving and yeah, like my rate of getting work done has not been as high as it should be. But once things settle into a routine, that should be going up. So, yeah, I mean I'm happy about I'm happy with how the Python layer has wound up. Like I said, I'm relying on it more and more for kind of the important parts of the game, and especially like one thing for me recently is like type safe Python, like type checking, like MyPy. If you've messed around with the repo at all and you do like I need to like make MyPy and all the stuff to like check type annotations. Like that was a game changer for me in terms of being able to write code that doesn't break 2 years later. Python's great that you can just like write really sloppy, simple, loose code, but the bad part for me was always the fact that it was not type checked, or you wouldn't realize if you broke some code elsewhere until you ran that code, and then it's like it doesn't work anymore because you changed a variable name or something. Whereas in like C++, normally it's compiled, so if all the variable names and things don't line up, it's just going to break and it won't compile anymore, and you have to fix it. But with Python, that was never the case until all this MyPy type checking and all this recent stuff. It just makes it a lot, in my opinion, a lot more useful for like big projects. So yeah, love it. Yes, this has come up a lot, the game being ideal for Switch. Yeah, Switch hardware would run it great. It uses the exact buttons the Switch controller has, basically. So yeah, I would love to do that. Again, I'm kind of forcing myself to punt on that until 2.0, just because I really want to get the 2.0 stuff done. But I do have like a big list of post 2.0 stuff, so it's it never ends. But yeah, Switch would be one of them. I mean, the word is the Switch 2 or whatever should be announced soon. We were talking about that last time, where someone was showing some like alleged leaked photos or something. So maybe that could be a fun target. Though if it has backward compatibility, it would probably make more sense just to aim for Switch 1 and then just support both. Who knows? Voice chat idea. So that has come up. We've discussed voice chat. I would love to have a voice chat option. There's the big constraint there is like technical in terms of like what voice chat system do I use that would work everywhere. I don't want to have I don't want to get into a situation where there's voice chat, but it only works like if you have two people that are playing on Steam or something like that. If I had voice chat in the game, I would want it to like work everywhere, where like you join somebody's squad and you can hear them, or at least you have the option. So for that, I am not sure what the best option is. I was looking into that. Yeah, this is one. There's this Odin voice chat. It sounds like they support a lot of platforms. Um, yeah, C, C++, that would be us. Or Swift. So that's something I might look into later. There's another, I forgot the name of it. There's another popular voice chat system which supports a lot of platforms, but they were bought by Unity. They theoretically still support like non-Unity engines, but that just seems like I don't know if that's a good idea, you know? It's like, it seems like something they could drop at some point. Be like, oh, sorry, you have to use Unity now. So that's another constraint. Like I'm in general, I'm trying to like just keep my eyes open and plan for potential voice chat at some point, but that's yet another post 2.0 feature. But still, like as I said, a constraint on that would be like I would want it to work everywhere or almost everywhere. You know, maybe there might be a random platform like maybe desktop Linux. If you're missing libraries or something, maybe it wouldn't be able to work there. Who knows? Uh-oh, so many O's happening here. I'll finish up that question. The other thing though is I would want to be careful. Like I don't know, I feel like I never play games with voice chat. The only time I use voice chat, not that I play a ton of games. I'm spending most of my time coding, not playing games. But for me, coding's like playing a game. Sorry, getting off on another tangent there. But I feel like when I do voice chat, like I just want to like hear my friends or like my little group I'm in or something. Like I've never been adventurous enough to just like jump in a public game with voice chat and like talk with randos and stuff like that. So I feel like for my choice for the game would have it be something where it's like you can only talk to your party that you've explicitly created, you know, stuff like that. Unless maybe you opt into like public voice chat or something. What's up? Oh my gosh. Bigachas Mafioso? I can't even. Proximity chat? Yeah, that'd be good. Like, like you hear somebody for like 2 seconds as they go flying by you. I kind of feel like proximity chat BombSquad might not be the best for proximity chat. Infinitive runaround. It sounds like a word game. I love it. But yeah, like I was saying, yeah, last thoughts on voice chat. I feel like I wouldn't want to hear everyone in the game. I would just, if anything, it could be fun for, you know, gathering a party together and being able to, you know, chat with your friends, or strategize. Is everyone seeing like my camera is like flickering? It looks like there's some sort of, I wonder if that's a GPU thing. My extremely exciting background here. Yeah, love it. BS Pro will be gone at some point, but just to reiterate, the benefits of it are not going away, and it will be like any benefits that it still implies will be available, you know, from something else. So it's more like evolving into something different as opposed to going away. Well, I mean, part of the, you know, a big part of it is still just, it's almost like a starter pack, you know, like you get the characters and the, you know, game unlocks and stuff like that. So obviously that stuff is still totally relevant. Like I said, the disabling ads is still totally relevant. That will probably go to something else. Like it might just be like if you buy any token packs, that might maybe disables ads, or there might be, I don't know, at some point, some sort of like season pass or something, or I'm not quite sure on that front yet, but there will be some other like inexpensive way to disable ads. You know, as a developer, ads are really kind of a way to have the game make money from people who don't spend money on the game. You know, it's just kind of like a fallback for that certain category of players. But if somebody is spending money on the game, if they're, you know, buying a token pack, like I don't want to force them to watch ads. You know, I feel like there's, you know, so I feel like there might just be something that simple where it's like if you buy anything in the game, ads, you know, the between game ads go away. So we'll see. So has anyone tried the recent betas? Like I've been updating them a few times, like every few days or something. Mainly I'm just trying to polish or get the new UI kind of behaving decently. So anybody have any thoughts on that? Like, is it improving? Like one thing I did recently is, if you navigate somewhere, like if you're in co-op and then you go somewhere else, like you want to check the store, and you hit back, it'll take you back to co-op. It used to take you back to like the start, which was super annoying. So like if you're here and you want to check your league rank, then you can just go right back there, or you can actually just check it and then poke it again to go back. So it tries to be a little bit smarter about, like, if you go on a little UI side quest, you can just kind of go back to where you were, or if you're setting up a Teams game, blah blah blah, and then you go to the store, and then you come back. So yeah, trying to make this stuff kind of behave somewhat sensibly. Oh, that's the Taobao store, or the Taobao character. It was only ever in the store. It's never officially been in the store. Like that was added for like a version of the game on a micro console released in China. And they asked me to put the Taobao character in there, and so I did, to support that micro console. But I didn't, I didn't think I should be selling that in other versions of the game, even though it technically exists in other versions of the game. So that's the story there. So if you played with that character, you've probably done it through some slight hack or a bit of scripting craziness or something like that. So it's never been like an official thing in the overall game, only in a very specific version that was released briefly in China. Universal camera changes is probably not going to happen for 1.8, but that is on the to-do list at some point, like getting a camera that is more zoomed in on your character, especially for mobile. That's kind of been on the back of my mind for a long time. I know that the camera as it's designed, it's for if you got 6 people on a couch playing on a big TV, obviously you need the camera to show everything. But that doesn't work so great for if you're one person playing on a phone. It's probably your guy gets a little small. So that's something I've been wanting to do for a long time, is like update the camera so it just zooms in on your character, or some reasonable middle ground, and maybe has like the little arrows for other characters or something like that. Not sure when that would happen, but it is on the awareness list, the to-do list, some list. It's on a list. To clarify, BombSquad Pro is not gone at this point. It's still in the store under extras. That, I imagine that would, if that disappears, like I said, it'll probably disappear at some point, or transition to other stuff. That will probably be after 1.8. So I don't expect to take it out of the store at this point. I could even rename it. It could just be like, starter pack. Like it would just like remove the other benefits. You would just get them when you buy anything, maybe. But some of the things like unlocks more game settings. I'm planning to enable that by default. But yeah, the remaining stuff that could maybe just turn into like a starter pack. Buy all these characters and this stuff. So let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else new. Burp. Oh yeah, that is modders. Yeah, be aware. If you don't know, the API version is bumping to 9 because there's some. It's not very extreme, but there's some changes to the UI code. Basically, to support it should be a lot easier now to write little UIs that support like going back to where you were before and stuff like that. But there's a little bit more magic that happens under the hood, like to support stuff like if you're in the play window and then you go to the store and then back to play. The back button, it used to be like the back button always went to some very exact place, and that was like hard coded in the window and stuff like that. That's no longer the case. It's more like abstract now, where you write a window and the back button just kind of like magically does the right thing. It just kind of goes back to the previous place you were. It's more like a web browser, It's like a website doesn't have to code the back button to go to a specific place, and it doesn't know where it goes. So it's more like that now. So that means that most UI code has to be updated a little bit, which is why we are bumping the API version one more time to 9. So if you're writing like gameplay mods and things like that, you probably don't have to do anything except update your like target version to 9, and then you should be good. But just something to be aware of, everybody. So, good afternoon, Levi Firmling. Submarine player. Oh yeah, let's check on submarine players. Let's see how we're doing here. Oh, we got one out here. All right, just off Madagascar. Oh, there we go. Just to the east of Australia there. There's a few submarines here and there. I keep wanting to say this one is one, but no, that's Hawaii. That's a proper island. Our most remote servers running some. I should keep just like a number, like how many people are playing in Hawaii. Yeah, Australia is never. There's never a ton of people playing in Australia, so I think there's probably more submarines connected to Australia than Australians connected to Australia. Oh yeah, could be pirates. Submarine pirates, is that a thing? Like that should be a thing. Yeah, South America is like India, this region, and South America. I would say those are the two biggest, like most dense areas. It's kind of, Europe is kind of a smattering everywhere. A few in Africa, not too many. Yeah, a lot in Mexico, I guess. Not many in the U.S. And I'm curious. I think it's because there's so many iPhones in the U.S. I think the Android market is a lot smaller or whatnot. So I'm not sure how much that has to do with it. But yeah, my home country, people don't play the game as much. It's funny that changes over time too. When I originally released the game like on the Mac App Store and it blew up a bit, it was like Germany was, for whatever reason, like Germany was my biggest country for a short bit. So it's funny, it just kind of like, it ebbs and flows. Like some countries shoot up the list, some slide down, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, Brazil I think is big. I guess all these, if you're just looking at it here, I think Mexico is pretty big. But yeah, the ones down here further too. I'm still waiting. They haven't changed it in a while, but I'm always waiting on Amazon to start new servers. What do I have? AWS local zones. And this is like the green ones are like the coming soon ones, and there's this one here that's been coming soon for like years. I'm still waiting for it. Like because there's tons of players, so I feel like this would be a great location because it's going to capture a ton of these folks. There's so many people down here in South America that are like connecting under the sea to Florida. So I hope that works. I mean, it should work. Like if the game is working right, like basically these little green dots represent players, and whenever your green dot appears, it basically pings the little pink dots to see which one has the best ping, and then it just talks to that one. So apparently for a lot of these guys, Florida has the best ping, even though it's like across the ocean. What is this? UK is in firework month? Are there fireworks this month in UK? Yeah, this is... Yeah, I guess it is a bit late on the east side of the globe. So there's that part of me thinks I should push this a little bit earlier since so many players are over there. Though I guess this is about usually when we're wrapping up, which I probably will wrap up before too long so I can get back to work since I don't have cool stuff done. So yeah, I'm almost out of topics. That's basically what I've been up to. Like I said, the exact thing I'm up to right now is just trying to get the server connection going so the servers will like drive these values correctly. So, which should be super cool in that it means you should see things appear more instantly. Like if you win a tournament and it gives you some prizes, like you'll know that, you should see like your UI update basically instantly and stuff like that. In the old one, sometimes you'd have to wait. You wouldn't realize it, but sometimes it would be like a few minutes later and it would update. And also getting this notifications or the inbox, like I want to get that wired up. So this will be like if you win a tournament or something like that, or whatever the results you get in the tournament, it'll show up here. So you don't have to just like watch for messages that just disappear immediately to see how you did. You just like come down here and hit OK or whatever. So anyone else have any topics, comments, complaints, confessions? Like I said, has anyone been playing with the new UI update and run into any bugs or have more feedback? I know there was some feedback before in terms of like these icons being small. I tried to size them up a little bit on mobile. Like I said, I've tried to get like quality of life stuff in there in terms of, if you enter a game now and then leave the game, it should come back out to where it was before instead of dumping you at the top, things like that. Oh, main menu on mobile looking to smash together. Yeah, there was, well, let's see. Yeah, there was that comment saying like it's too busy. And so well, there was a few comments. One is saying like these icons are too small and hard to hit. But then there's the comment saying like, oh, there's too much stuff. So that, that is a thought. We could strip some out. My thought is like if you don't have any treasure chests, this section will just disappear just to make it a little less cluttered looking. I'm trying to think like if there's other stuff that could be hidden like in certain areas. I know it is a bit busy, but it's also, if you come in the game and I feel like it could be not bad to just be able to like check your league rankings and check your stuff you have like quite easily from anywhere you are. I guess in mobile, like some of this stuff disappears in some areas. So I don't know if you have any specific thoughts on like, oh, like this screen, we could hide some stuff. But then part of me is wondering like, okay, if we hide, we can make this screen look a little cleaner by hiding some stuff. But then like, when do we have it appear? Like when you hit play, should it come in? All these weird little questions. But yeah, it does look a little crowded in here. So I don't know if you have any thoughts. Like I said, I think getting rid of this will help. Yeah. Do I have children? No. I am married as of not too long ago, but no children at the moment. Do you check emails? Yes and no. I do get a lot of emails, but I try to check them. It's, yeah, I'm not super consistent, but yeah, I try. I mean, yeah, I do get a lot of game-related emails, so I feel like I realistically can't respond to all of them. Test. Hello, test. Oh, shucks. Okay. All right, I will try to scan through and see if I can find that one. Yeah, I do try to like catch those and help people out when they have little things like that. Like if someone's bought Pro and for some reason it's not restoring on their new phone or something. Oh yeah, yeah. No, I'm happy to explain the chests and stuff. So basically, by adding tokens and chests, I'm trying to transition the economy to kind of like something simpler for the monetization part of it. So basically, the upside is it'll be easier to get tickets, and you'll still be able to use tickets for like the same purposes, like unlocking characters and things like that. But there will probably be like this box system, or there will be this box system where when you win a tournament, or if you do well on one of these rounds or something like that, you'll just get a treasure chest with a timer on it. Pretty standard kind of free to play thing. And so you can either wait for the treasure chest to open, or you can spend a few tokens to open it faster. So I'm trying to just, yeah, like kind of simplify it. So that's the one place where people are, encouraged to spend a little bit. That makes it easier for me because then I don't have to like do this balancing act where I try to get people to buy ticket packs, but I also won't let them earn tickets in game. Like that was kind of a bummer because it encouraged me to like make it too hard to get tickets in game. So I'm hopeful that this will just kind of feel like a better balance where people will still be encouraged to save a little bit of time by skipping treasure chest open waits by throwing a few tokens out here and there, but then I don't have to like be stingy with tickets. So that's we'll see where it goes, but I'm optimistic. So that's basically what these are. It's just kind of like this is how you will earn stuff in game, is getting these treasure chests. I'm not doing anything like you can't buy treasure chests. I feel like that gets into like sleazy territory in my opinion. With like gotcha boxes where you're encouraged like spend $10 and get the shiny pink box or whatever. It's like, no, this is like the only thing I plan on asking for payment for is just to like skip annoying little waits. So I hope that explains. And so yeah, the plan is you'll be able to get 4 treasure chests at any time. More than that, you have to either open one or you'll miss out on the next treasure chest. So yeah, basically, that's trying to distill the game monetization down to kind of that part. You'll also be able to watch ads to open treasure chests. That's the other plan. So that's just kind of focusing everything on that one area, just to like I said, simplify things for me, so I don't have to try this weird balancing act. And then also, that's also why there is the gold pass. If you really don't like that kind of like pay-as-you-go system, you can just get the gold pass, and then you have like the entire game unlocked. There will never be anything else that you can pay for. So just kind of making it's like the free-to-play option or the premium option, just whichever route you prefer. Oh, some if statements slipped into a PR. I do that a lot. It's funny how often I will go back and, I will notice some random like log message that's printing into standard output from like 5 months ago or something. Oh, this was just for testing. Oh, okay, cool. All right, good to know. I will make a note to screenshot that so I don't forget. When will be the official update for menu? As soon as I can get it done. I mean, that is what I'm working on right now. There is still a bit of server-side stuff to wire up, so I really can't estimate on that. I'm hoping within a few weeks. It's hard to say, though. Just because the treasure chest stuff, that's a whole new system. And I also want to do this stuff right. There's a lot of things I did for like the V1 master server where it's just so ugly and it's like not very maintainable code. And so I'm trying to be smarter about doing things in a way where I can like improve them later, as opposed to slapping things together as fast as possible and then like I don't want to touch them later because they're like this fragile spaghetti mess. So yeah, so in my mind, that's my hope, is like within the next few weeks. But yeah, we'll see. Just yeah, all I can ever promise is working. I don't want to say I'm working as fast as I can because that implies that I'm working sloppy or something. So I'm working at a good pace. But I am happy that we are mostly settled into our new apartment here, and can just kind of get into more of a rhythm of just working. Why don't I post anything on my Instagram? It's mostly I just don't have time. It's I'd love to be on Discord more. I'd love to post on my Instagram more. I'd love to keep the Facebook page up. I mean, there's so many like social media things. Like realistically, for any of that stuff, I would need to start hiring people or getting a team going. And so far, I've been hesitant to do that just because that puts a lot more pressure on the money side of things. Then the game has to make more money to support. Right now, it just has to make enough money for me to buy groceries and pay for rent in San Francisco, which is admittedly San Francisco is expensive. But yeah, that gets a lot bigger if suddenly I have to pay for a team of like 4 or 10 people or something like that. And yeah, I as I mentioned, I'm trying to make the game not feel too like sleazy and money grubby and things like that. But it kind of seems like at some point to support a big team, you almost have to be pretty aggressive with making money. So it's like So anyway, long story long on why I'm not updating Instagram very often is mostly because if I have extra time, I'm just going to use it coding and not making Instagram posts or anything. Even though that would be cool, that'd be fun to do. Want to join private party? I want to change from teams to all. Oh, is that still? Have you gotten the most recent 1737? Could you check the build number you have? Because I think there should be very few under construction places left. I've been mostly like hunting them down one by one, like a robot cyborg from the future. So 22020. If you can check to see if you're on this one or something close, that is hopefully fixed. But please let me know if it's not, because I really would want to fix that. Let's see what's the latest builds available here. Oh, there we go. This page is getting too big. Oh, 22021. Okay, that's the latest that are uploaded. But I believe that should all be behaving itself. Like I said, if you go to gather, private, host. Okay, so, all right, hosting. So you're saying like you just want to switch? You mean when you host a private party? So like all this stuff should work. Like just deathmatch. Okay, now I'm going to switch to just capture the flag. Yeah, like this should be working. Being able to switch around. So hopefully that's what you're referring to. If not, like I said, let me know. But all this stuff, all these kind of like fancy window juggling parts, they had to be updated for the new windowing system with, like I said, like the automatic back button handling and the fancy stuff like that. So there were a number of places where originally I just had it say like under construction, but like I said, I've been one by one hunting those down and wiring them up, and so I think they all should be working. Correction 2 weeks. What's geez. Because what is this? What's this referring to? Correction 2 weeks. Why can't I? Okay, whatever the original question was, can you just re-ask it? I feel like I'm so bad at like jumping back up in history and like finding the original things. Okay. Oh, okay. Is that? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I will try to address that. It is interesting. I am, it's always, I'm trying to add more log messages and, error checks and things like that. It seems like there's always some weird case where someone's account doesn't get restored on a new phone, or like their account ID changes for some reason. Like Google gives them a new Google Play Games ID, even though it's like their same Google account. It's like, oh man. So I'm trying to make this stuff as bulletproof as possible, but it seems like there's always some weird corner case that slips through. I'd be happy to play like a quick round at the end. I mean, I should probably get going here before too long. I know we haven't been going long, but yeah, if we want to end with a quick game, I'm down. If someone wants to host maybe over on the east side of the planet, I'm probably one of the few over here on the west side. Now see video. Oh, this video. Oh, so it's like a precise life bar sort of thing? Cool. I'll keep that going. Yeah, that brings I don't know, it brings up a lot of thoughts. It would be interesting to have like a, more fleshed out UI, or like almost like a RPG mode or something where you see like more stuff about your character. Obviously I didn't do that for the standard game just because there could be 8 players in the game, or, whatever. So, but it would be interesting, like, yeah, making a more limited like single player mode or something like that where there was more UI available. But that's a cool proof of concept. Ah, you're here to save us. Thank you. Uh-oh, you need my help. Uh-oh, with what? Ah. Ah, well, that is a complicated question. So there is... Speaking of what I was talking about earlier with, code that I feel like wasn't written as cleanly as it could have been. Or even in this case, it wasn't that bad, but I feel like the Scene v1 networking code sort of falls under that umbrella, where I feel like it's a little more spaghetti-like than I would like. It's sort of like evolved into this tangled web that kind of works, but it's a little... like I feel like it evolved into a decent design, whereas, it'd be nice to start with the design and then write the code. You know what I mean? It's kind of like this backwards approach, which worked, but it means the code is it's not the cleanest code. But anyway, it all lives under Ballistica, Scene v1. A lot of it is under this, like connection set, connection to host, connection to client. I think connection set is basically just like a set of connections to all the other players in the game, or the clients in the game. And so that deals with like sending out node changes, and when a new connection comes in, it sends them all the existing set of like nodes and attributes and everything like that. So if you dig through all this code a bit, you should kind of eventually find all that stuff. Like connection to client, like connection set and connection to client, you should find out like where it's sending stuff out. Definitely be very careful with that code though, because if you're changing that, you're going to wind up being incompatible with different versions of the game, or you'll have a server that crashes clients that connect to it and things like that. So for this, I mean, that would be, yeah, we'd have to do some sort of, I don't know, you'd have to add some sort of system like put players into groups or something, like which groups see which nodes. Um, I think I've thought about that before. I mostly have gone away from that idea though, just because it seems like it would lead to hard, I don't know, hard to diagnose problems. Where it's like if you create an animation node and you connect it to a prop node, but then you accidentally set that animation node to only go to some players, like what do the other players see? Do they still get the prop node, but then it's not being driven by that animation node? You know what I mean? It just seems like it would. It sounds like a little like too smart for its own good in a way. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it would work okay, or maybe if it's like a limited, well designed thing. But it just, yeah, to me that sounds a little scary. I guess like the idea of having separate sets of nodes for different players. Unless you went all the way with it, where like every connected client has its own complete set of nodes, but that doesn't. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. There might be a. I'm sure things like first-person shooters do stuff more like this, where obviously you're not sending the entire state of the map to every single player. You're probably sending like what they see only. So yeah, you could implement something like this. That would certainly not be super trivial though, so I wouldn't try to do it in like a backwards compatible way. Hello, Fork 35. Oh, geez. Oh, ooh, cool. Overclock. Let's take a look. Ooh. I always love sentry guns. They're the best. Super cool. I still like it. It tickles me all the time, like seeing this stuff. Like, wait, this is like, how'd you do this? I'd be curious too, like looking into this, stuff like this. I'd wonder what like bottlenecks it's hitting. If this is like stressing the network layer in weird ways that I could improve or something, or if there's like a lot of Python callbacks that could somehow, we could add like a native call to simplify anything. I don't know if you have any ideas on anything. Let me know. But it's probably hard to, as someone writing that stuff, it's probably hard to know like what is stressing the system too. But that's super cool. I love it. Best future you can imagine for the game? I mean, I guess it boils down to, if folks haven't gotten the impression yet, is like I'd love to just have it turn into a kind of like not a marketplace, but just like evolving game, not experimentation, but just something where people, including myself, can experiment and evolve gameplay and come up with fun little new ways to play and have those kind of be incorporated into the game. Something I don't want it to feel as chaotic as I don't know, like Roblox or something like that, where it's just like there's a billion different mini games out there. Not that I'm not too familiar with Roblox, but I'm not trying to foster something where it's just like there's just a giant mess of stuff. But I'd love to, I don't know, I'd love to have something where it's like, some people are making cool stuff and we maybe incorporate that into the next season or something like that, or just where it's like this slowly evolving set of mini games and characters and game styles and things like that. Just kind of keeping it somewhat focused and curated and polished, but something where it's like takes on a life of its own in a slight way. So that's my hope. I've always said I was inspired a lot by Warcraft 3 back in the day. I loved when I was in college. I guess I was playing. I never really played the regular Warcraft 3 game, but all the mini games that came out of it, like Dota and all those, a lot of proper, that whole genre kind of came out of there. I think people making mini games for Warcraft 3, and so I loved that. I loved like seeing how that went, and it was always so much fun just like looking around for new mini games and seeing what people came up with. So that's fundamentally that's my goal for the direction I want to take BombSquad and Ballistica in general, is just kind of fostering these kind of creative environments where people can, come up with cool stuff. Okay. Well, as long as it's behaving, I guess, or as long as it's performing well, like that's, in the end of the day, that's all that matters. It still makes me think like I should get some sort of, or maybe other people can help with this if you want at some point, like some sort of like simple mode where it's like diagnostic mode, where maybe you see a few graphs of like, this is how many network messages are going out, or this is how much time Python is spending, on the server, or something like that. Just something to kind of give people a sense of, there's certain things you do where like you might craft some super cool explosion, which is like 10 different Python calls to emit debris and, adding a bunch of prop nodes. But that might send out like a megabyte of data to every client or something. So just something to like make people aware of that, just to like, hey, like watch out. Because that's something where like if you're coding that and you're looking at the server, like you won't even notice that every client is like hiccuping right then. But at least if you saw that like spike in a graph, maybe you would. Oh yeah, there's a question about music there. Oh yeah, so the stuff, like the soundtrack editing, that's still going to exist. It's just going to be free for everybody. So there's a few things on Pro that I'm planning to just make free for everyone. I think it'll help the game. I think, like playlist editing and, like custom soundtracks. I'd love for just everyone to be able to do that. It's kind of a gamble on my part a little bit, because I locked some of that stuff down a while back because the game wasn't making as much as I needed it to be, and I needed it to make a little bit more, and so I put a number of things behind Pro back in the day that weren't originally, including like playlists and soundtracks. But yeah, I'm planning on taking those back out from behind Pro. My hope is that the token system will make enough that's okay to like give all those like base features away for free. I mean, I reserve the right to, lock them behind something again if need be, but I'm hoping I won't have to. But yeah, in terms of like music and soundtracks, I would love to, for one, I'd love to add more music to the game. Like if I'm adding new mini games, I have a list of classical music that I'd love to add, just little things that like, whenever I hear some classical music, I'm just like, oh, this would be great for like this type game. I just like picture something in my head. So I'd love to do that. But also I'm thinking about like ways that it could be fun to, I don't know, just have more music you could even unlock or something. Like that could just be some other thing that you could spend tickets on. Like if you want to customize your own playlist, like switch up the background music for this particular variation of Capture the Flag that you made or something like that. Obviously, or with custom soundtracks, you can kind of do that now, but like taking that idea further, where maybe you could come up with custom music for when your particular character wins a free-for-all game or something, something like that, just where, more fun customization. Oh, bye, Era. I guess I probably missed you. Sorry, I'm a little slow. All right. Well, anyone have any other questions, or we could? Edisaga I saw you made a. I just now noticed you made a team or game, so we could hop in and play one round and call it a day. Ooh, that's cool. Crabmeister. Nice. That is something. Like I said, my vision for the game is to have like a kind of a curated thing where people are like making their own stuff, but it's kind of curated. So that I feel like that's one like rule I want to make is that like if you want your stuff to be featured in like the curated section of user generated stuff, like it has to be made out of clay or something where like it has to fit the style of the game. You have to have like physically built it out of something real and then taken photos of it at least, and use that as a starting point. Or Crab Miser. I was saying Meister. All right, well, we can hop in a game to finish off the day. Edisaga, is yours still up? All right. Maybe I'm going to attempt to play on this, my current test build. Let's see what happens. Ooh, nice throw. Nice annihilation of me. All right, here we go. Oh no. Let's see. One sec. I'm going to bust out the PlayStation controller here. Maybe I'll do a little bit less terrible. Ah! Oh no. Man, it's kind of competitive. Alright, see you 435. Like I said, I will, apologies for this Coffee with Eric being a little short and delayed and everything like that. But like I said, I should be getting back to more of a regular work schedule. So hopefully we can stick to the every 2 weeks Wednesday thing. And I'll try to be more forthcoming if I need to reschedule instead of telling you at the last minute. Oh, good job, Mike Tyson. Yeah, I figured I think you were the first one I saw in here, so. Good job, Edisaga. Oof. Oh, Vufflecon, the code should be up a little bit if you... Here, I'll just paste it. Oh, geez. I'm like, where am I? Oh, I'm being swung around. Can't look away from one moment. Oh! Yeah, where's this? Mike Tyson or Edisaga, where are you? I'm assuming this is in Europe somewhere, or is this like South America? Or Edis? I should put that on, like that would be useful to see up here, like on the private party info or something, like where the server is. No! Yeah, I feel like as diverse as places we all come from, I feel like there's never going to be a game without some lag. Not making excuses for not having better lag compensation, but though I always mention it. It's funny to like think of that, like where we're, lag is essentially like we're limited by the speed of light. Just like that concept, like limited by the speed of light. Like, dang it, speed of light. Can't we just be a little faster? Ooh, I'm out ahead. Look at me. Maybe it wasn't a good thing. Oof. Oof. Ah. There's like a weird fine art to like playing with a bit of lag, you just gotta like plan your moves ahead of time. By saying fine art, I don't mean I'm any good at it. It's just like, it's more like the fine art of attempting to play with lag. Yay, I'm not dead last. No! King is 4. Oh, sorry to hear that. I feel like mid 100s is playable. It's not amazing, but yeah, 400, like oof. It's like kind of watching a. Might as well be watching a replay at that point. Oh. No! Good job, Edis. Oh! Oof. Oh, nice. Oh, looks like this probably will be it. Big moment. Unless one of us losers at the bottom wins. It's funny, it's just like total clear outs. It is really interesting playing with like good players. It's just like such a different... I'm very much, as I mentioned many times, I'm used to mostly playing with kind of casual players, so it's kind of a very interesting dynamic as I walk off a cliff. And freeze myself. Pretty close so far. Oh. So much chaos. Oh my gosh. Uh-oh. Single digits. No! Oh wow, timer's gonna run out. I feel like I haven't seen that. Uh-oh, I think Vishu has it. Oh wow. Well earned, sir. That was, holy moly, that was fun. It was so like even. I mean, like everyone was just like an orgy of chaos. That was fun. All right, folks. Well, I unfortunately have to bow out now. So y'all should keep playing, but oh, that was fun though. So anyway, I guess I will just wrap this up for the day. I'll get this uploading and pushed onto YouTube for tomorrow. Same old, same old. So yeah, good game, everyone. That was fun. And yeah, good short coffee with Eric. Good talking to everyone. Hopefully I will have more meaningful updates next week. I can at least have this stuff wired up and maybe be actually putting this version of the game through its final testing, theoretically, or at least getting close to that. But yeah, it was nice playing with you too. That was fun, especially that last round, man. That was intense. So yeah, that was like one of the more fun King of the Hill games I've played. It was so even. I feel like there's usually like one person that just gets out ahead earlier, but that was just like, oh my gosh. So yeah, even though, yeah, sorry about the 700 lag for those of you who are hitting that. So anyway, been fun, and I will talk to you guys. I feel like I always make the mistake of saying I'll talk to you guys next week, but I will talk to you guys next episode, which hopefully should be 2 weeks. Let's see, October 3rd. Yeah, I think 2 weeks should be clear, I believe. Once it gets up to November, December, like here in the U.S., we have Thanksgiving, which is a big holiday, so that might throw things off. And then Christmas, of course, might throw things off, but that's not quite here yet, so should be kind of regular time. Anyway, been fun, and yeah, I will catch all of you guys next time. So, peace out. Bye-bye.